Today's video was brought to you by StoryboardThat.com. Please visit TEACHERCAST.net/StoryboardThat for a limited time offer. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TEACHERCAST App Spotlight. You are listening to the podcast that brings you the best in educational technology right from the app developers themselves. I am thrilled that you've decided to make TEACHERCAST your home for professional development. There's, of course, several great ways that you can connect and be a part of the show each and every week. We love it when you find us on Twitter at TEACHERCAST. Leave us a voicemail at teachercast.net/voicemail. Email us at feedback@teachercast.net. And, of course, you can subscribe to these shows over on iTunes and YouTube. And, of course, while you're over there, please take some time and give us a nice review. We love it. And by reviewing our shows, it is absolutely the best way to reach out and to support us. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and today we're talking all about character development and character education. Today we're going to be talking to the co-founder of Peekapak, and I want to bring on the show Miss Ami Shah. Amy, how are you today? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm great.
Thank you so much for being here. Talk to us a little bit about Peekapak and some of the great stuff that's happening these days.
Definitely. So at Peekapak, we're aiming to improve the early childhood learning outcomes of young children. So we're focused around pre-K to grade 3. And through our new platform, we're giving digital access to our 10-unit curriculum for educators to use both in the classroom and to reinforce in the home. So we're pretty excited. We've been launching in private beta. It's been exciting about all the feedback we've been receiving from educators, and I'd love to show you more today.
Well, I love the website that you have here. If you look over at peekapak.com, that's PEEKAPAK.com, it's colorful. It's friendly. Tell us what we can find here over on your website.
So on the main website, you're able to see how the whole program works. Once you log in, you get access to our platform, which I could show you a little later. And then as well, you can see a bit about our whole world that we've created. So if you click on, if you scroll to the top and click at our world, you'll see all our characters. So we want to make learning really relatable and fun for children. So we've created a cast of characters that reflect today's diversity in terms of cultural diversity, but also in terms of talent. So you have your engineer to your programmer to your painter. These are all new role models that we want children to grow up with. And we're really excited as we see children really loving our characters.
And talk to us about these characters. Do the students get to be those characters, interact with those characters, learn from those characters? What is the role here?
The characters are basically our feature in our story. So we develop our own stories to talk about these different character education topics. So from self-regulation to gratitude to honesty, these characters are modeling this behavior through story. And this makes it that much more relatable for children to understand these concepts and to remember them and to actually comprehend them and demonstrate them. So the storybooks are actually very core to our whole curriculum, where children are taken through that in the classroom through read alouds, and then also reinforced at home as we give digital access to parents as well to reread those storybooks.
Well, the one thing I love here about your site, I'm going to pull it up here, is you have got a lot of resources here, both for teachers and for parents. Is this a system where teachers are going to sign up their students? Is this something where parents can sign up their children? How does somebody get involved using Peekapak?
So Peekapak is very core to teachers. So we believe that we want to provide teachers the resources they need for their classroom to provide this education and the resources to be able to engage with their parent communities. So teachers sign up, they get access to the curriculum, they're able to share updates with their parent community through the platform securely about how the child's developing both in class and then also to give reinforcing material. So these are the same storybook and those and fun activities to use at home as well. So it's very much led by the teacher.
So let's take a look at what this is. So let's take a look at how this actually works. Would you be able to share with us a quick demonstration?
Sure, I'd love to. So this is Peekapak. You can go to our website and you can easily log in by clicking up here or sign up for a new account. So I've signed up here. Right away when you join in, Cody, one of our characters, could take you on a tour. So I'll quickly show you that. You can start, all our lessons start with stories. So this is our bookshelf where you can access the storybooks. And inside, there's a read aloud tab, which outlines how you can go through that read aloud, the lesson objectives, the overview. You can see how what Common Core standards are aligned to those materials, questions to ask before, during, and after. As well as we have lesson plans that you can use on a weekly basis to reinforce that concept. So in class, you're able to print out the lessons, have handouts to use in the class, and as well send at-home activities to parents to be able to use and reinforce as well. So let me show you an example of how this works with one of our books. So here's our book on teamwork. Here's a unit overview. You can see what new vocabulary and sight words we've chosen. And then you'll see here all the in-class lessons that you can use on a weekly basis, and also the at-home activities that parents can do to reinforce that concept at home. So going into the storybook, you're able to open up that storybook. You can use this on a smartboard or an LCD projector. You can see it over here. And this is available, it could be used on any type of web-based browser device. So it could be iPads, Chromebooks, laptops, computer screens. The full story is here available to use, and this is the same story that you're able to send at home as well. What we find is that children really love the expressions, the emotions, and the characters, and how fun it is and engaging. So again, as I mentioned, with the story read aloud, you have all your Common Core standards and guidance, but also with the lessons, you also have activities that you can do that have printouts, what your area of what you're working on, what all the requirements are, and how you actually implement that lesson in class. So there's 4 lessons per unit, and there's 10 units per year. You're able to then complete a lesson. So as you complete it, you can set up your class, click submit, and then you're able to track how your class is doing. So you can understand how each student is progressing against all the different Common Core standards you're doing through our lessons, and be able to get a sense of how they're also doing at home as you share items at home with parents. So you can share easily with parents, just typing in their email and setting them up for your class list.
You know, I like the fact that everything here is very, very bright. It's very visual, and it does seem very, very easy to navigate through. And, you know, being easy, teachers have to be loving how to, and being this easy, teachers must love using this.
Definitely. So one of the things that we did early on is we've done a ton of research, and we continue to want to speak with as many educators as possible. So if there's any educators today who would love to speak with me and provide feedback, I'm all ears. But what we did is we really made sure that teachers can easily sign on and access the materials that they wanted. So one of the things that always came up was, oh, I'm not a techie. And I'm like, don't worry, you can easily get the materials. And that has been definitely the feedback, that this has been so intuitive and easy. You know, the bookshelf is something that they can relate to and they really resonate with.
You know, Amy, one of the questions that always comes up here is what happens if a teacher is moving from, say, first grade to second grade in the next school year? Do they have to get a completely different login here, or does this have access to grow with the teacher?
Great question. So we understand that teachers, even within a given class, will need to be able to customize and understand the different Common Core standards and be able to tailor the lesson. So we actually provide full access to all the different grade levels that we offer. So from pre-K to grade 3, and you're able to customize. So for our pre-K to grade 1, there's actually storybooks, and for our grade 2 and 3, we have more in-depth chapter books, and you're able to flexibly be able to use both or all those different grade levels.
That's pretty cool. If you're a teacher that's in a Chromebook school or a teacher that's in an iPad school, is this platform going to work no matter where you are and what devices you have available?
Definitely. So it's web browser based. So as long as you have an internet connection, you can access it on a Chromebook, on an iPad, or a laptop. It's available that way.
So, Amy, it really does seem like this is going to be a perfect system for teachers to help with character development on their younger students. You said it was available for pre-K up to grades 2. Where do you see the future of this, and how can teachers get in on the ground floor here and become beta testers?
Definitely. So for TeacherCast viewers, we have a special code that we could put up on the screen. It's TeacherCast Beta Testers 2015, and that will give you free access. So currently we have available pre-K to grade 1. For those users who are grade 2 or grade 3 and want to be beta testers, they can email me at ami@peekapak.com.
Excellent. We'll make sure all of that stuff gets into our show notes there. One more time, definitely go over to your website over at peekapak.com. Follow them on Twitter. A great new company coming out for your EdTech needs. Amy, thank you so much for coming on the show. And when you do launch, you know that you're invited back on.
I'd love to be back here. Thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Well, my friends, that wraps up another episode of the TeacherCast App Spotlight. I want to thank again our friends from Peekapak for coming on and sharing their great resources. There's, of course, several ways that you can reach out and connect or be a guest on the TeacherCast Broadcasting Network. We love it when you follow us on Twitter at TeacherCast. Leave us a voicemail over on teachercast.net/voicemail. Email us at feedback@teachercast.net. And of course, you can subscribe, review, and rate all of our audio and video shows over on teachercast.net/iTunes and teachercast.net/YouTube. My name is Jeff Bradbury. Thank you so much for taking the time to make TeacherCast your home for your professional development. Until next time, keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.